Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Taurus January 2020 horoscope forecast, part 2 of 2. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is, well, as far as January goes, Mars will be in Scorpio from the 1st until the 3rd. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, this could be some cases really explosive battles between you and open adversaries. Uh, you might be dealing situations with a significant other or someone you're in a business partnership with, may be more contentious and acrimonious than usual. Might be a lot of bitterness, might be a lot of vengeful, vindictive energy and anger. It could also be out of jealousy, anger over being jealous of somebody. This could be as well too. If you're unattached at this time, Taurus, you may connect with a Scorpio Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Scorpio characteristics. That it could be somebody that you might lead to a significant other situation. Might be sexual liaison. Could also be maybe a person you might be in a business partnership with, or might be in a seventh house profession, such as like a lawyer, attorney, or bailiff, somebody in a court system, or somebody in like works as a something as a mediator, or somebody in negotiation or arbitration. So it could also be about putting a lot of energy into Scorpio related things with others in general, collaborating with others on Scorpio related things such as the occult, astrology, supernatural, locksmithing, embalming, getting to the bottom of things and mysteries, anything Scorpio related. Next thing up, well, Mars will be in Sagittarius as far as January goes, from the 3rd until the 31st. So the 8th house will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time, Taurus, this could be about putting a lot of energy. It could be into really at this time, maybe making philosophical transformation. It could be a time too where you might be getting really also at this time. It could be a lot of situation with an intimate somebody you're in an intimate or sexual relationship with. A shared resources scenario might be more contentious and acrimonious than usual. There might be arguments over philosophical differences or over religious differences at this time. And it could also be at a time too where this could just be putting a lot of enthusiastic and exuberant energy into making a major change, or even dealing with a crisis at this time as far as this goes for you, Taurus. It could be also as well, if you're unattached at this time, Taurus, you may connect with a Sagittarius Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or one that simply embodies Sagittarius traits, and it might be for a very deep, non-superficial connection at this time. And also too, you might be really, this could be a time where you're really expending a lot of energy on really at this time exploring things that are very deep at this time, and could be mysteries of life, or what have you. So anyway, and also putting energy in some cases into, or taking action into leaving like a Sagittarius type legacy, such as being expansive, exuberant, optimistic, somebody that's very jocular or jovial. So anyway, next thing up, well, Jupiter will be in Capricorn still, so the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, Taurus, well, as I've spoken about previously, Jupiter could be rather paradoxical, could be very strongly benign and benevolent, but it could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. Now, in some cases, it may enlarge and expand certain limitations, restrictions, even depressive energy, despondency, and 9th house related matters. It could be maybe matters perhaps with in-laws, with grandchildren. It could be over maybe some situation with traveling abroad, or publishing, or higher education at this time. But it could also be about, you could be lucky and fortunate this time, Taurus, for a lot of for being very premeditative, for planned publishing in things with higher education, with religion at this time. Could it be lucky for an Orthodox religion or conventional one? Perhaps it actually can be in some cases, but it could also be at this time too, Taurus, that you gotta, this could also be a time where you might be dealing with, I mean, this could be this could be very, you talk about a lot of exuberant and enthusiastic energy into maybe being very consistent in ninth house matters such as global communication, such as publishing, matters with higher education at this time. And also could be very, I mean, you're talking about, planet of luck and then the ninth house. This could be a very lucky and fortuitous period for ninth house matters in general, such as higher education, religion, foreign travel, and really in anything ninth house related. It could be a lot of, I think, cautious optimism as well to some degree, because you're talking about Capricorn energy with Jupiter at this time. So anyway, well, next thing up, Saturn will be in Capricorn still, so the ninth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, you might find yourself at this time, Taurus, you might find you might be dealing, you might have, in some cases, you might be taking care of a sickly or debilitated in-law or grandchild. It might be something Capricorn related, such as something with the knees, the bones, the joints, and the hamstrings, maybe making you feel somewhat despondent and melancholy. It may be something too where you might be dealing with certain restrictions and limitations in ninth house matters in general, like higher education, publishing, religion, issues with in-laws, with grandchildren, global communications. You might feel that there might be some government restriction in publishing matters at this time, and things you want to communicate on a global level. Could also be a time where older people might figure more prominently in your philosophy at this time, in religious matters, perhaps as well, also gaining structure and discipline at this time in ninth house matters, such as religious matters, higher education, anything that could be ninth house related at this time. And in some cases it could be, it might be a time where you're doing something, Saturn related as far as publishing. It might be something with Saturn / Capricorn related as far as publishing, such as something like the dentistry or business or politics, or something with the government at this time. Anything that could be Saturn / Capricorn related. So anyway, well, next thing up, Uranus will be in Taurus still. So at this time, the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, Taurus, you might feel like, you might come across a little bit more unorthodox, unconventional, more eclectic than usual at this time. You might take on a different appearance, or you could just be simply changing a hairstyle. But it could also be where you need to guard against, especially if this is actually hitting your literal first house in your chart, Taurus. There could be a little bit more propensity for shocks and electricity, being electrocuted at this time, since Uranus can be connected with that. And also Uranus like physical situations, such as something with the ankles or the shins, or something with the nerves at this time. On a positive side, though, it could be very auspicious. Might be a time for Uranus new beginnings, such as something with astrology, astronomy, aerospace, even rocket science, innovation, computers, electronics, something with humanitarianism. It could be that Taurus friendships might figure more prominently in your new beginnings, your outlook on life, and maybe even have something to do with you're doing something with your appearance. They could be Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Taurus characteristics at this time. So anyway, and well, the next thing up I want to, and also you might be dealing with some unusual, stubborn, obstinate behavior from a grandmother, or even someone you knew from your early childhood. Now, next thing I want to get at is Neptune. Well, Neptune will still be in Pisces, so the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, this can manifest in a multitude of ways. Taurus, you might be dealing with the dissipation or dissolving of your friendships at this time. Your future may be a little bit nebulous and unclear and vague as well. On a positive note, you might find yourself doing something Neptune related as far as goals and aspirations go. It could be something with the metaphysical, which includes astrology, poetry, dancing, photography, something with pharmaceutical work, something with illusion, special effects. And it might be where you're showing a lot of self-sacrificing energy with friends and acquaintances at this time as well. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, but anyway. And also, too, when you're talking about Neptune energy, it's an area when Neptune can be about where we're somewhat lethargic or lackadaisical, where we feel more like daydreaming and fantasizing as opposed to taking action. And it might be where you feel more like daydreaming and fantasizing regarding 11th house matters and actually doing something with them, and especially if transit Neptune is making an adverse aspect to your natal sun, ascendant, or Mars at this time. That can increase the propensity for this. And also at this time, stepchildren, if applicable, friends, acquaintances, people you know in groups, clubs, or organizations might be a little bit more deceptive and duplicitous than usual. You might be attracting, sadly, some acquaintances and friends that might be involved with some drugs or alcohol use at this time, or strong recreational drug and alcohol use at this time. So anyway, last but not least, Pluto will be in Capricorn still, so the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. I know a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded T word, but you know I'm going to anyway. In some cases, this could actually manifest in the actual or literal death of an in-law, of a grandchild. And being Capricorn, and Capricorn might be making you feel more despondent and melancholy, more so than an average death. But this is isolated. Now, it could also be a time too where looking at this as well, it could be about the transformation of a philosophy you have or religion at this time as well, Taurus. But also guard against power and control issues, power struggles with in-laws, with grandchildren, people you know, maybe at a religious congregation or some college, university at this time. And it could also be looking at this, as well. Remember that Pluto, it might even be a time where you might be involved in something Pluto related as far as higher education and or publishing goes. It could be something connected with the occult, supernatural, astrology, something with nuclear physics, something associated with recycling or transformation at this time, or anything. I don't know if recycling is actually a college course, but maybe it could be something you could do as far as publishing goes. But anything that could be Pluto related at this time. It could be taking a college course to become like a coroner or something with embalming. Anything again that could be Pluto related at this time. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Taurus January 2020 horoscope forecast, part 2 of 2. And stay tuned next time where I'll be giving you my Gemini January 2020 horoscope forecast, part 1 of 2. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.